One day, some of the engines were having a chat at the sheds before starting the day's work.
You know, I've noticed something over the past few days.
And what might that be?
We've been getting more and more work, more than what we can handle.
Agreed. We could really use another engine to help out around here.
At that moment, Sir Topham Hatt came walking in.
Engines. I've got some good news and some bad news.
What's the good news?
The good news is I've recently got an engine to help out with the increasing workload.
Who is the engine, sir?
Well, that's the bad news. A diesel was the only engine available. One who I'm sure you have all been acquainted with before.
What's his name, sir?
Well, he doesn't have a name, only a number. 261, I believe.
The engines were very cross.
Now, I know things weren't pleasant when he was last here. However, if he acts the same way he did when he was last here, I will send him packing.
When will he arrive, sir?
Later today, and I expect you all to at least try and be nice to him.
And with that, Sir Topham Hatt left.
What exactly happened when D261 was last here?
I'll tell you. He constantly boasted about how modern and efficient compared to us out-of-date kettles. He even said,
It's not your fault, but Sir Topham Hatt should scrap you and get engines like me. A fill of oil, a touch on the starter, and I'm off. No bother, no waiting. They have to fuss round you for hours before you're ready.
He soon got his comeuppance.
How so?
When he was due to take a train, he sucked an inspector's bowler hat into his air intake and broke down before he could collect his coaches. Duck and Stepney took his train, and the next day D261 slipped out while no one was looking. But he left two things behind: a rather nasty smell and a very battered bowler hat.
He sounds worse than Jack when he first arrived.
Oh, believe me, Alfred. D261 was all that and worse.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I think it's time we get to work.
All the engines agreed. Later that day, D261 arrived at the yard where Bear and Derek were waiting along with Sir Topham Hatt.
Right on time, D261. Now, you'll be helping out Derek and Bear with the heavy goods work. Now, don't think I forgot what happened last time you were here. Now, I expect you on your best behavior. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
That's a good engine. You can start work now. Bear and Derek will show you how to handle the goods work.
As soon as Sir Topham Hatt left, Bear began to tell D261 about how to handle goods trains.
Now, D261, the trucks here are not like the ones on the other railway.
What could they possibly do to an engine like me?
Oh, believe me, D261, if you don't handle them properly, they'll find a way to pay you out.
Pah! They wouldn't dare cause trouble for me.
At that moment, Douglas chuffed into the yard.
Is that so, laddie? Well, if you think you can handle them, how about taking me next goods train?
Alright. I'll do it. And then I'll show you I can handle those wooden planks on wheels.
As long as a bowler hat doesn't get stuck in your earning dig.
Douglas, Bear, and Derek chuckled, and D261 fumed away. Later that day, D261 arrived to collect Douglas's goods train. While D261 was backing towards the trucks, he gave them a hard biff.
Now then,
He began.
I expect no nonsense from you lot.
The troublesome trucks were cross.
Who does this green box on wheels think he is to come here and order us about?
I know. It's clear he has no idea how to treat us properly. I say let's pay him out.
The trucks began whispering amongst each other. Soon, D261 was racing down the main line.
What were those 3 engines talking about?
D261 muttered to himself.
This is easy.
Little did he know that the trucks had made a plan when they reached Gordon's Hill.
Right, lads.
Whispered one of the trucks.
When we get to the hill, hold back with all your might. And when we get to the top of the hill, push as hard as you can.
They soon came near Gordon's Hill. This was the signal for the trucks.
Hold back! Hold back!
D261 felt the strain of the heavy train.
Come on, you stupid wooden planks on wheels.
He fumed.
As you wish.
Go on!
Go on!
Shouted the trucks. Banging their buffers pushed him down the hill.
Whoa, what the?
D261 began to gather speed with the trucks laughing and giggling behind him. Then there was trouble. Gary was taking a slow goods train on the same line that D261 was on. D261's driver applied the brakes, but it was too late. Luckily, no one was hurt, but D261 fell completely off the rails and smashed wood lay everywhere. Gary was very cross.
Just what on earth do you think you're playing at?
He shouted. D261 just looked down at his buffers. Soon, Harvey arrived with the breakdown train, and Sir Topham Hatt.
I'm very disappointed in you, D261. You should have known better than to bash those trucks around and ignore Bear's advice.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Since I've already made a deal with your owners to loan you here until the work decreases, I have no choice but to keep you. However, I'll only repair you this once. If I hear you causing trouble like this again, I'll make sure you never return to my railway again.
And with that, Sir Topham Hatt walked away.
Alright, let's get you back on the rails and to the works.
Soon, D261 was shunted into the works. While there, he wondered if it was time he changed his ways. While that happened, he overheard a conversation going in front of him.
One doesn't need to prove oneself. Myself and Alfred can both see that you have a better personality. After all, you did have a lot of time in that shed by oneself.
I know. I still have a guilty feeling, though. Perhaps it is about the fact that 87546 is missing, too. I had that argument with him a while back, and I want to express how sorry I am to him. But I can't, because he's missing.
Ah, well, you never know. I have to go get my passenger train now. Goodbye.
Maybe it's about time I change my view on these steam engines.
The diesel thought. A few days went by, and D261 was nearly repaired. However, now he had a different view on the steam engines. Then he heard another conversation.
I think Cecil would be a nice name, don't you think?
Oh, that would be splendid. Cecil it is.
Excellent. Now we both have new names and new personalities.
Interesting.
D261 was wondering how he could make amends with the other engines, but I shan't say more or I'll spoil the next story.
Is that so, laddie? That sounded like I was having an asthma attack in the middle of that sentence. I need to do it like this. As long as a boiler... Boiler? Yes, as long as a boiler hat, yes. Just get the Fat Controller's top hat and place, I don't know, like Gordon's boiler on top of it. It's a boiler hat. Oh god, I'm high. I sound like a pig there. Jesus.